No,
because
I
they
haven't.
don't just get you in there to lose weight. They get you in and they teach you how to eat healthier for a longer life, actually to live healthier through diet. And that's what we're talking about here, too, is to change the way you eat. And I think that, if there was another way of saying diet without using the word diet, I would sure like to adopt it. Lifestyle, yeah.
Right.
So I could say, I suppose I could tell people I enjoy, if they offer me a cheeseburger, I could say I enjoy a vegan lifestyle, thank you. It sounds a bit condescending. Actually, I kind of like it a little bit, huh? I'm vegan, darn it. Back off. Yeah, you make a good point, though. And as a result, I think that, being overweight and eating incorrectly, eating unhealthy is built into our society here in America. It's almost a rite of passage. And I see families that, everybody's obese, everybody's overweight, and it's, that they all have the same bad habits. And I used to be one of those people, and I've changed, my lifestyle, the way I eat dramatically. What do I think about, Luann's asking what I think about 16-8 intermittent fasting. I think you're wasting your time. If you're going to fast, do a fast. You go to sleep, you wake up the next day, and you don't eat anything, and then you go to sleep again, and you wake up the next day and you eat. So for that time period that you're awake, you don't eat. So 16-8, and I talk to people, and nothing against people of different religions, but I talk to people who are of a different religion, who they call it fasting, and they only eat at night. And I had an interesting conversation with one of these persons not too long ago who said that they had been fasting. And I said, well, that's interesting. I've been doing some fasting too. What do you mean by fasting? Well, we don't eat until after midnight or after it gets dark. I said, well, I only eat after it gets light. So am I fasting every night? And they looked at me and they said, well, yeah, I guess so. I said, so really what you're telling me is you're not doing anything special at all. And that's the truth. And so if you're not willing to have your last meal and go to bed and then not eat the next day until you go to sleep and wake up again, in my opinion, you're not fasting. You're not getting the real benefits of activating the part of your genetic code that's responsible for repair, and energizing the immune system. So you don't get the benefit out of it if you're not going to fast. So I would much rather, instead of you playing the 16-8 or the 24, and I've seen all of these things, just eat whole food plant-based. If you don't want to fast, don't fast. But, skipping a meal here or there is not the same as going on a true fast. You're just not going to get the benefit from it. Okay. 6 foot and you want to lose 100 pounds, Christine, you can do it. You can do it.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Put your mind to it. Give up animal products completely. Eat healthy. Stay away from starches and fast twice a week, and the weight will come off and you'll amaze your friends.
And maybe they will join you too.
Shouldn't we be on a diet regulated by a doctor? I don't see why. And you go to Weight Watchers, you don't get a doctor there. Right? I mean, there are 200 different diet plans out there today, none of which require a doctor. I don't think it's necessary to have somebody with a medical degree to tell you to eat right. I don't mean to be snarky about that, but I don't think it's necessary. Here's one from Eurydice McDaniel. What are the benefits of fasting for weight loss? You have fewer calories. You learn to break your addiction to cheap calories and animal products. You get in control of your way of eating, your way of life, your lifestyle. And you're no longer eating because it's what you do. Eating becomes a factor of a decided or a decision. Eating is what you do on a purposeful basis when it's time and the right amounts. You don't just do it because it's there. That's the benefit of fasting. It's like any other addiction. It's learning to take control over your eating, taking control of that part of your life back from what's been happening. I mean, if you're overweight, if you're unhealthy, if you're having to take blood pressure medicines, if you're having to take cholesterol medicines, if you're having to take diabetes, type 2 diabetes medications, if you have kidney problems, almost all of this is due to the decisions that you've made as far as what you're going to eat, what you're putting in your body on a day-to-day basis. So I hope that's a fair answer for you. Sue, do you have anything you want to throw out? I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
No,
I've
fine.
got
I'm
tons
just
of great
trying to
questions.
a lot of my people was on the one that was frozen and wondering where I was, so I've just been trying to tell them I'm back up again. I just want to, the whole, what you set your mind to, it's so important to get your mindset around this, because, this may seem like a hard thing to do, and it may seem very daunting, and it probably does. And if this is the first time you've done fasting or the first time you've decided to cut animal products out of your diet, that can be a massive big thing. Okay, but you need to keep your mind strong, and what I suggest you do is focus on the results, okay? What we are telling you is absolutely true. If you eat a plant-based diet, and the fasting, I haven't done that before, but just watch my results over the next month. They're going to be incredible, and I know they will be. So
I believe you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got more energy, you'll have less joint pain, any chronic symptoms you have, a lot of them, and I'm not a doctor, but a lot of chronic symptoms, a lot of people suffer from IBS, leaky gut, stiffness, headaches, not being able to fall asleep very easily, not getting a good peaceful night's sleep, waking up feeling groggy, not being able to think straight, not being able to concentrate, not being able to focus, not being kind of agile mentally, okay, not feeling very happy, feeling a bit miserable, not feeling good about your body image. Imagine if you could change any of those, or what about all of them? So you need to focus on what you want, because this will get you there. A lot of people who think, if I could just have a pill that would make me slim. Okay, the pill is food that's good for you. And what we're aiming to do is to, help you with how to change what you cook. So if you focus on the things you're going to get from this, it will help you stick the path. 90 days is nothing. 30 days is nothing. 1 day is nothing. Today you're all going for it, those of you who are fasting. And soon it will be time to go to bed, and you will have achieved it. And that is going to feel great. It's 80% mindset, this. Any single one of you can get to the weight you want, feel the energy that you're looking for, all those things. All of those things, anxiety, depression. I know so many people that the reason they went plant-based was because they wanted to do something to get rid of anxiety that they were on meds for. And they're all off it. Literally, that's how they found veganism. It was nothing to do with the animals. It was all to do with, I've got to fix myself because I cannot live like this anymore. So,
Here.
Yeah, so anyone need any help with mindset? Anyone failing during the day or just feeling, just message me. And I will give you the rocket you're looking for that you can strap yourself onto and fly through the day, because this is absolutely doable. You have to say to yourself, and say in the mirror in the morning, I can do this. I can do this. I am going to do this, and I can do this. It's all what you tell yourself, I promise you. So I just wanted to hop in there because, it is daunting when you change things, and if you think you might not be able to stick the course, guess what? You're right. You won't be able to stick the course because you've got that little voice in your head telling you that you might not be able to do it. And that will turn into, I can't do it. See, I knew I couldn't do it. And then that will go back to, I'm not good enough to do this, and you're not good enough to have the health that actually you want. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm your guru if you need any help with staying positive, keeping motivated, and keeping your eyes set on the goal. And it might seem like a massive goal, but every journey starts with a step. Take it hour by hour, right, I've got to lunchtime and I haven't eaten anything. Excellent. Right, I'm going to busy myself with something. And now it's, 3:00 in the afternoon and I still haven't eaten anything. And gosh, it's time for my favourite programme or whatever you do in the evening. And you've got there and it's like, in 2 hours time I'll be going to bed. And you'll go to bed and you'll have done it. Take it step by step. The way to eat an elephant is one mouthful at a time. And I know that's not a very good plant-based, analogy, but it's true. Just take it one step at a time, and every step you make is further towards your goal, and it's further away from the bad habit of eating the wrong things that you were kind of fooled into thinking were good things. So I just wanted to put that out there. Books coming along fine. Haven't done any today because I've been trying to work out other things today. But yeah, it's coming on fine. Thanks for asking. Over to you.
Okay, I'm trying to get Sherry. Sherry Grout has had some questions that I thought would be applicable to a lot of people.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get her on with us here, and she's on the channel right now. So if you can hear me, Sherry, I just emailed you a link that should get you into this Skype discussion. If you don't want to join us, I understand. Sometimes it can be a little bit of you get a little stage fright. Everybody does. If you don't want to join, just let me know. That's okay. You don't have to, obviously. But I did invite you, and I think you had some questions that we talked about that were applicable to a lot of people, especially as regards with type 2 diabetes and whole food plant-based eating. And
I had some questions about that too, so that would be great.
I want to point out that back in February, my hemoglobin A1C was 5.9, and that put me square in pre-diabetes. If it gets up to a 6.3, we usually start medication sometimes a little bit earlier, 6.2. What that means is that my average glucose readings were probably floating up into the 110, 115 area fairly regularly, and it was an indication of insensitivity that my body had developed toward my own naturally circulating insulin, okay? And as a result, I was getting sick, and so I went whole food plant-based and changed my diet dramatically, and I did the intermittent fasting. And about 3 months later, when I checked my labs, that A1C number had gone from 5.9 to 5.1. I was no longer pre-diabetic. I had absolutely normal glucose control. Now, this is what I want you to understand. I'm clicking a button here.
You're clicking a button. You've frozen on my end. You have frozen. Oh, you're back. No, you're not back.
You're back.
Right, you're back. You were frozen on mine then for a minute. I still definitely can't get a third screen on. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. And you've frozen again. Can you hear me on the Skype?
All right. Now I'm going to try to get her back.
Oh,
I
no.
think I lost her again.
Oh.
Y'all be patient with me for just a moment.
Yeah, just hang tight.
You got it, Sue. It's all yours for a moment.
Okay. So we've had Beverly said something very interesting. She said, after Monday's live chat, I had my last supper of a fresh out of the oven boneless, skinless chicken breast, and I felt awful after I ate it physically. So what you'll find when you continue with the plant-based diet is when you have a slip up, and nobody's perfect, and do not beat yourself up if you have a slip up, but try not to have a slip up, obviously. But if you do have a slip up, you won't feel good after it, and your body will start to adjust, and it will like what you're doing, because we were made to eat things that we could pick and eat. Our bodies are designed for fruits and vegetables and beans and nuts and berries and all of that sort of stuff. So when our bodies get used to having all the good food, when you do something like end up tripping over and accidentally inhaling a box of chocolates, you will feel terrible afterwards. And although a lot of people when they start out, oh, but I don't want to not like chocolate anymore. I don't want to not like, I'd like to have, pasta occasionally, or I'd like to have whatever it is you're cutting out again. The thing is, when you do, you won't feel good. So it will be like you're eating something that you don't like anyway, because your body, you get so out of tune because of all the rubbish, that you eat in restaurants, fast food, all the processed stuff, the supermarkets and the food giants are pushing at us to make money off us. We get so used to it that lack of being able, it's so much sludge that we're eating that our body is just used to it, and it's like a noise when you have a load of computers whirring away and then they all switch off, and there's that moment where you go, oh, I didn't realise how noisy it was. Isn't the silence wonderful? And that's kind of what happens in your gut with your body and your digestive system and all the bits of your body that are working better because you're giving it better food. It's becoming more fine-tuned so that when, that noise of a food that doesn't serve you comes back into your digestive system, all hell breaks loose, and it's like, oh my goodness, oh gosh, I've got to sleep now for 6 hours, oh my stomach. And literally, it's the thing that makes it the habit of a lifetime. This isn't just a 90-day thing. This will be your new you. And when you do slip up and you do go, oh, go on, I'll have one of those great big ice creams with a load of, sprinkles on the top and a load of rubbish on the top of it, because, you only live once and all of that thing. And that's the thing, you do only live once. You'll just feel terrible after it. And you'll go, do you know what? I'm not doing that again.
Yep.
And that's how it works. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. How well your body will become tuned to what it wants. It wants live nutrients, and it knows what to do with them, and it knows how to digest a plant-based diet brilliantly. We were made for it. We weren't made to eat animal products. We can't tear their skin with our teeth, and we don't like it raw. We wouldn't just rip the guts of an animal and start eating it like a lion does. So, we've conditioned ourselves to eat the wrong things, so we're used to it. We don't know what our actual normal is, and I keep saying this, but most of us have no idea how good we're actually supposed to feel, and this is the way to get a glimpse into that. Would you all like to know how good your body is supposed to feel, how great your brain is supposed to feel? Because that's what's going to happen. 90 days and you will literally be a new person, and you'll have dropped a few dress sizes as well. So,
okay, can we?
Yes, I am going to be selling Meta 7 Core, just to let you know. Yes. That's what I was setting up today. Trying to set the so that we can actually do it. Can Meta 7 help with weight loss? Yes, I think you've said that before, haven't you?
I've had lots of people lose weight on Meta 7. We have Sherry on. Can you see the three of us on your feed?
No, I can't. I can see it on your feed. I'm clicking the button at the bar at the top.
Are you shift clicking?
Shift click. But I've only got 3 little windows at the bottom.
That's all you're supposed to have.
No, I've only got 2 little windows, sorry. I haven't got the third one.
All right. Well, we've got Sherry with us, so she's got an interesting story, and she had some questions, and I thought she'd really be a great addition. So if it's okay with you, can we let her tell her story?
So
we want to welcome you, Sherry. Hi, thanks for jumping in, and thanks for helping me get you finally patched in. Sometimes it's not as easy as we think, but you have an extensive medical history, and I'm not gonna divulge any of your information, but I'm gonna let you tell your story, and we'll go from there. So welcome, and you've got a forum, and we all are here to. We're all here because we all want to, we love each other, and we want to get healthier, and you've had some issues, and we want to see if we can help. So you're on. Go.
Okay. Well, the big issue is I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes several years ago and told to eat protein protein, protein, protein. Oh, you're not eating enough protein. Stay away from fruit. Stay away from vegetables. They're full of sugars and carbs, and stay away from breads. Basically, all grains. And the problem with all of that is the fact that I really like fruits, vegetables, and grains. I don't care for meat. And they said, okay, well then eat eggs, eat yogurt, eat cottage cheese. And I've learned through you and through some other avenues that that's all protein-based animal, like you said over and over again. And the hard part is that my doctors just keep fighting with me about my numbers are bad because I don't eat enough meat. And so what do? You do your research, you find out that that's not appropriate, you start doing things the way you think it should be done. I discontinued use of one of my medications because I felt like it was eating my gut alive. And so, then my doctors didn't want to help me because they're like, well, if you're not going to take our advice, then what are we supposed to do for you? And so that's where I began looking for other avenues, and one thing led to another, and here we are with Sue, and I'm just so encouraged by what I've been able to hear so far, and understanding that some of what I've been doing is the right direction to go, but I still need to learn so much more and keep moving forward as opposed to being stuck with bad medical care, and I don't think doctors mean it as bad. I just think that's what they know, and they don't know any different, and they're reluctant to change. I think my problem has been exacerbated by pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies telling doctors what to do and what to promote, and so that's why I'm here. I want to learn what I can eat that's appropriate and divulge some of the misconceptions that I've been fed over the years so that I can get healthy. And I think you're right when you say it's encouraging to have someone else to do it with. You need to have that support, and I don't have that support until now. So thank you.
You have it now.
You have it now. You have
yes,
it
you do.
all guns blazing. Absolutely.
I know I have lost about 26 pounds in the last 6 months, just through some of the changes I've made, basically drinking a lot of water, and I do eat lots of beans. I have learned that beans have a lot of protein, and I do love my vegetables, and so I've been cutting back on the meat, and I'm more than glad to cut back even more, because I don't like it, so never have.
Well, what's interesting is when you sent me your list of medications, one of the first things I noticed is basically you have a type 2 diabetes issue, but you're almost entirely on insulin, which is amazing because that's how we treat type 1 diabetics. So when you have type 2 diabetes, the main problem is your body is not sensitive to your own naturally circulating insulin, and I'm using this phrase a lot tonight. But the fact of the matter is the animal proteins that you're consuming actually are causing your insulin resistance to worsen. All right, so your doctors, what they want to see is they want to see a low hemoglobin A1C number, and you're coming in with numbers that maybe are okay, but your diabetes continues to worsen. So my guess is they keep increasing your insulin. Okay.
Yes.
So you're not going to reverse. You're not going to put a fire out by dumping gasoline on it.
No.
That's what you're doing, and you're doing it at the direction of your physicians, who, quite frankly, just don't know better. And it's not that they don't mean well. It's not that they don't care. It's
right.
just they don't understand. All right. So what you're going to have to do, first of all, are you seeing an endocrinologist, or are you just seeing a primary care doctor, or who's managing your diabetes?
Primary care.
Okay.
And I have seen an endocrinologist. It's been quite a while ago. They didn't give me more appointments. I didn't ask for more appointments. I was disappointed in the way they approached my case and how they were helping me. And she was one of the ones that kept increasing the insulin. And I will say that I have not stayed up with the increases. I have tried to back off and maintain at lower numbers of doses of insulin.
Right. Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you that you need to do is you need to find a doctor that's going to get you on some different medicines, because you're on the wrong medicines, okay? And I'm not supposed to tell you this, but
I don't.
You're on insulin, and your problem, not only are you hyperglycemic, meaning that your glucose levels are too high, but you're also naturally hyperinsulinemic. In other words, your pancreas is working harder and harder to produce enough insulin so that your body can handle glucose correctly. So on top of all of that, you're injecting more. So you're hyperinsulinemic too, and those elevated insulin levels cause problems too. So we look at what elevated sugars do, but there's not enough science to tell us what we're doing to our bodies by filling ourselves up with all of this insulin. I'm going to tell you that there are at least a dozen medicines out there that will improve your body's sensitivity to your own insulin, and you don't need exogenous insulin, okay? You should not need to take these shots. There is a medication called Victoza, which is a non-insulin once-daily injection, which would be an outstanding choice for you to try. There is also a medication called Trulicity, which is a once-a-week injection, again, a non-insulin medicine that will improve sensitivity. There are medications such as Jardiance, Invokana, Farxiga. These medications help your body get rid of excess glucose. There are medications like Actos, Amaryl, Tradjenta. There's a whole list. We have so many fantastic medications that would be better. Every one of these medicines you're on, the insulins that you're on and the glipizide, they all do the same thing. They're all designed to increase insulin levels, and your insulin levels are plenty high. Your problem isn't that your insulin's not too high. Your problem is that your body's not handling the insulin and glucose properly. So they've got it backwards. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to find a doctor that's going to get you off of insulin and get you onto oral hypoglycemic agents that are designed to sensitize your body to make you healthier. That's number one. Number two, you need to begin to dramatically reduce your intake of animal products. You must absolutely stay away from starches. And you need to go to whole food plant-based. You need fruits and vegetables. You need bell peppers. You need lettuce, you need tomatoes, you need lentils, you need asparagus, you need celery, you need cucumbers, you need all the colors in the rainbow, and you eat those things. And if you do that over a period of weeks to a month and a half, your body's insulin resistance is going to begin to disappear, because this insulin resistance problem that you have is going to begin to go away. And as a result, your diabetes is going to begin to melt away. It's going to go away. You have a good chance of curing your diabetes, not just improving it. Okay, you actually have an opportunity where you might, and I can't guarantee this, but I can tell you I've seen it, and I know that if you do what I'm saying and you get a doctor to change these medicines for you, you have a real good chance of beating the diabetes and making it go away, and it never need return. It never has to come back again, okay?
Okay. I'm up for that.
Diabetes, you're on 3 medicines for your diabetes. All 3 are insulin-producing agents, okay? The Novolog, the Levodopa, and the glipizide. You're taking quinapril and atorvastatin, those 2 medications, strictly because of the diabetes, okay?
Right.
That's 5 medicines, okay? Now you're on 3 medicines that are not related to this. They don't need to be part of the discussion, so we're going to leave them out, okay?
Yeah.
But I will tell you, if you can adopt a whole food plant-based diet, go get the book or buy it on Amazon called Proteinaholic. All right?
Already looked it up and have it ordered.
Good for you. All right. Get that book and start reading and begin to educate yourself. There's some other good books out there too. Right now I'm sticking with just the Proteinaholic because I want to kind of get a lot of people an opportunity to read it before we start adding more on, okay? But start with it and work on fresh fruits and vegetables and work on, like we talked about earlier, like the Progresso lentil soup as a meal, okay? Carbohydrates are not the enemy, okay? Starches are, but carbohydrates are not. Once you can get rid of the diabetes, your body will begin to better handle starches. But for now, making the transition, you're going to have to avoid starches almost completely. And you can do that just by eating whole foods, fruits and vegetables. They're going to have plenty of starches in them alone, but you want to stick with what we're going to call the carbs, nuts, seeds, fresh fruits and vegetables, and your doctors will be amazed. But I got to tell you, if you don't find a physician that can get you off of this insulin, you're going to have a terrible time because your glucose levels are going to start dropping, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have to start reducing those levels on your own. I would rather have you under the care of a physician who will get you off of the insulin and put you on oral medications, and then you can begin to reduce those as you get yourself healthier by going whole food plant-based, okay? Fasting is something that you can safely do once you get off the insulin. It's very difficult to safely fast while you're shooting insulin into your body because you can get hypoglycemic, you can fall, you can bump your head, and all of that. We don't want that, right? Mm-hmm. So get a doctor that will put you on oral medications for your diabetes, and not this glipizide. That is old school medicine. We don't use that anymore, okay?
Got it.
So you need to get on modern medicines like Farxiga and Tradjenta, Victoza, and there are lots of other ones, but basically you want to be on medicines that only sensitize you for your body's own circulating insulin, and then as you convert to whole food plant-based, you can make this diabetes go away. That's all I got for you.
Hey, that's a lot, though. What, they put me on the glipizide when I went off the metformin. So,
that was silly.
I agree.
There's no reason for you to be on glipizide when you're on two different insulins.
Well, consider it gone.
Are you adjusting your Novolog? Are you checking your sugars and adjusting the Novolog with your meals?
Yes.
Or do you take it straight? Okay. So I'm going to break all the laws here. You can stop the glipizide. It's doing nothing for you.
That's kind of what I figured.
It's not doing anything. And you didn't tolerate metformin at all?
Not at all.
That's fine. A lot of people don't. That's okay. All right. So you can drop
my best friend was bathroom with the metformin.
Yeah, so. That happens with some people. Okay. Yeah. So your glipicide's doing nothing for you, so I would just drop it. Go find yourself another doctor that'll put you on, get you off of the insulin and put you on oral medications. Just go in and say, look, I've talked to some people who say that I have type 2 diabetes and I shouldn't have to take insulin. Can you get me off of insulin so that I can start eating healthier and lose weight and get healthier and get off of these diabetes?
That won't be new to them because they know I'm always reading and doing research and looking into this.
Well, Sherry, if they're not listening, you need to find somebody who will.
I think I will.
That's what I recommend.
Yep. And I think part of the problem has been, I'm on Keppra for seizures. Yep. And I think that we're afraid to do too much adjusting because of that. So, because they say that all the time.
Keppra is an extremely safe medication. It doesn't have to be monitored. It doesn't have to be adjusted. Keppra is one of the easiest medications that we have to work with for seizure disorders. Don't worry about the Keppra. You're on a reasonable dose. It should not be a factor. Have you had any seizures since you've been on the Keppra?
No.
Then you got nothing to worry about.
Just in the beginning when they were trying to adjust the dosage. So.
Sure. But not since you've been stable. No. Find another doctor, please.
I think that's something I'd already tried to work. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your advice. I thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to the support this group has.
Good. Stay in touch with us, and if you have any other questions about your medicines, feel free to holler back at me, and we'll go from there. And I'm just keeping a little list of your stuff so that if in a couple of months or whatever you have a question again, you don't have to send me that list every time.
Well, I won't. It frustrates me every month when I go to pick up prescriptions. I just hate that I have to have all of those. I don't think it's necessary. And I agree with things that you have said and that Sue have said regarding the plant-based foods because, I grew up with my grandmother in the garden and eating fresh right out of the dirt, so I think that's something that I've missed on.
Yeah, that's what Sue was telling me about in Britain. They eat a lot of dirt. So, look how healthy she is.
Hey, whatever Whatever works, right?
Whatever works. If I have to, no, I was going to say if I have to eat worms, but that would not be plant-based, of course.
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
All right, Sherry, you're awesome. We'll invite you back later. Keep me updated, would you please?
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go. Thank you
Thank
for,
you.
and also everybody pray for Sherry.
Well, thank you so much.
I know. Because she deserves it. I mean, she's frustrated. She's got a medical system that's not helping her, that can help her, and her doctors, due to lack of understanding, are just unable to get her straightened out. And she is staying sick because she's become a victim of bad information and pharmaceutical sales reps that are pushing drugs that she doesn't need.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
All right, Sherry, take care. We'll talk to you again soon. You bet. Bye for now.
All right.
That was just fantastic. Absolutely
She's
brilliant.
awesome.
That's amazing. I've had
she awesome?
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
She can still see me. You just have to hang up, Sherry.
Off. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay, thanks, dear.
Yeah, loads of people are sending her prayers from my feed here. I've got some really good, people that have been told, who was it? Of course, Laurie has been told if she loses 20 pounds, she would get rid of her diabetes. I've told her to go for it, and loads of people are going that she can do that, so that's brilliant. Susan has gained 60 to 70 pounds because of 10 years of surgeries. She can't move very well. Sometimes she doesn't eat for days because of the pain, and one of her meds was causing weight gain. Somebody's given her, Beverly gave up smoking 2 weeks ago.
Hey, that's awesome.
Somebody, I can't remember the name, sorry, I'm just whizzing trying to find out who that was. Liz has been vegan for 1 year. Listen up, folks, has been vegan for 1 year as of the 11/11/11. So she's just passed her 1 year mark. She's eating better than ever have before. She's got great blood works. And she joined the gym in August, and she's lost 13 pounds in weight.
That's awesome.
And that's not quite a stone, just to amuse all of you stateside who think stones are really funny.
Hey, I'm 14.4 stone. I got no problem with it.
14 stone.
I love telling people how much I weigh. How much are you? How much weight have you lost? Oh, I'm down to 14.4 stone. They look at me like I've lost my mind.
Excellent, excellent. That's fantastic. Actually, and I have got a little thing that you could all do, because your body is going to change shape, and a lot of you will lose weight. If you have weight to lose, you will lose weight on a plant-based diet, especially with the fasting. And I did this today. I weighed myself 158.4 pounds. That's 11 stone 4.4, just so we got all the weights. So I didn't do it in kilos. So that's how much I weighed. But what I did is I measured my body. The reason why it's important to do this, okay, is because fat takes up a lot more space than muscle. So, and muscle is a lot heavier than fat. I mean, like hugely. It's much denser, cell grouping, or whatever the right medical term is, and you laugh your head off, Jack, if you like, over that. But I measured my arms, because I know I put on a lot of weight there. I've measured my bust. I've measured where my bra, because I just like to measure everywhere. So I've measured where the bones of my bra go, my waist, my hips, the widest point on my hips, and my thighs and my calves. And I've written those measurements down, because the scales may not tell me that I have lost as much weight as in my brain I think I want to lose, but my clothes will fit easier. So why don't you all write down what your measurements are? Because I bet you in 30 days' time they will have changed. And do you know what? It's really rewarding going, oh my goodness me, I've lost 17 inches off my body. So it's something that's visual. And when I first did the vegan diet, I also did my 30-day kind of challenge, kind of my reset. and stuck to a plan, had lots of support like we're doing in here. And I thought my calves looked a bit smaller, but I wasn't really sure. But I'd measured them, so I went, oh no, I'll get the tape measure out. And I measured them, and I'd lost 16 centimetres off my calves. So 16 centimetres is about 8 inches. 8 inches off both of my, off each, the combined of my two calves. And I thought, I'm not imagining it. I have. And it's a really good thing, because if you think about, anything that's measured and monitored is something that happens. Take sport, for example. It's measured, it's monitored, it's timed. This sportsman's had that many touchdowns, and that one did this, and he was out with an injury, and we know all the facts about it. So it's really easy to measure an improvement, them moving up the league. And it's exactly the same when you're going for a goal and you're trying to stick to something. So physically measure yourself. Because you might think you haven't lost weight, or you might think that you don't look slimmer, and people will tell you you look good, or have you lost weight? Oh no, I haven't lost any weight. And it might just be that your fat's burning off and your muscles, the ratio is changing. So it's really worth it. And there's nothing more motivating than seeing that you're less inches. And when you add all of them up, your arms and your bust and your hips and your waist and your thighs, etc., it's just so motivating. It really is. It makes you stick to it even faster. So that's a really good tip for you. And it will give you something to do, as well, something to do. And you can stick that up on your fridge or something and go, right, there are going to be some less inches or less centimetres next time I measure myself. So that's something I find really, really good, because it's a solid measurement you can't argue with. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
It's good. I like it.
Good.
So we're coming up on the end of our second hour. We want to decide, do we want to go more? What do you guys think? I have 28 in my room, Sue. How many are in yours? Are you still broadcasting?
27. Yeah, I've got 27. So we've got
almost 60 that are still interested in going further, or still have questions.
Okay.
I wanted to ask this question. Do we want to try to do our discussions more often than twice a week? I think what we're doing now, the Monday and Thursday, is awesome. I think it fits my schedule, and I hope it fits your schedule. And I am a little bit concerned that you are up so late. So maybe in the future we can try different days, because I would not be opposed if you and I want to talk about it later about picking a weekend day. Where we could go earlier and you don't have to be up so late. Okay, yeah. So I can work with you on that if you want. But I like the idea of, since Mondays and Thursdays are our fasting days, it's good to be supportive and to talk on these days.
And it helps because, do you know what? That hunger I had before I went on here is completely gone, because I'm fully engaged and occupied with what I'm doing.
Well, that's really important to keep your mind occupied on something when you're fasting, because if you don't, then you spend a lot of time thinking about food, and you don't want to do that.
That's just no good. So I think it's really good if we're fasting on these 2 days to do it. I think you mentioned next week we might be able to go earlier because it's Thanksgiving, is it? Is it on Thursday, Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving's on Thursday. That's actually an easy day for me because it is Thursday and I'll be home, and we'll probably do an afternoon Thanksgiving meal anyway, and so it probably won't. We might be able to go a little earlier even if you like, so we can kind of let everybody know as we get closer.
I think those following that, I've got lots of people following me in the UK, and I think coming on at midnight, in the middle of the week, people have got jobs to go to and things, so they are catching the replays. A lot of people have told me they've gone back and watched the replays, which I think it's why it's good that we break them so it's not, too big a thing. So let me know. I know some of you are just recharging your battery. Do you want us to come back on? Just let me know. Do you want to scream if you want to go faster?
I think I'm going to be signing off after 2 hours.
Okay.
Because I need to get some family time in, and so if you want to continue, I'll let you go on along without me. But I've really enjoyed the conversation, and I've had an awesome time, and I think a lot of people are really taking a look at themselves and look at their diet, and are looking to make some changes. little plug I put down here for meta7.com. We appreciate your support. I'll just leave it at that. But I think, I'm trying to come on fairly regularly to kind of share what I'm doing. And as we progress and do more, we'll talk more about different meals and food items and things like that too. So we'll get a little bit more informative, and we'll just call ourselves the YouTube Vegan Club and have a good time doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks a lot for all of it.
Just before I sign off, bye, Cor, by the way. Thanks for coming on and sticking with my 3 versions of this. I've had a few questions about Meta 7. Yes, I am going to be selling it in the UK. All things being equal, and I've joined a few things together so that there's an actual platform you can go online and order it from. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. So I'm going to do that, and anyone that wants to place an order will be able to place an order. But Dr. Gilmore hasn't shipped the products to me yet. We're going to kind of get that all organised, so they'll have to come to me. So the first order will be about a 3-week lead time. But when I've got the products here, I'll be able to ship them out, and it'll be 2 or 3 days, and you'll have them in your hands. So I just wanted to answer that because quite a few people have been asking about that. And I will do a video on my channel to let you know. And I'll put links in there and all of that, but it's not quite ready yet. But hopefully tomorrow it will be. Okay, so I'm going to sign off as well because it is 1:45 in the morning, and I have my neighbour's funeral to go to tomorrow, and I want to give her my brightest, bushy-tailedest send off. So and I've got to sort out a few things before I do that. So I'm going to sign off as well. But I would like to thank you so much for coming on. And I put a video of my stitches or my non-stitches mascara up. So have a look at that because I know some of you have asked that.
Hey, congratulations on your first day of fasting, Sue. I wanted to throw that out there. You did great. Congratulations. You made it. You made it, and that's really something to celebrate. So, unless you hear differently from either one of us, where it's going to be Monday at 6, my time, 6 U.S. Central Time, or midnight your time, unless we make a change or something, okay?
Yeah, and we'll let you know.
Put that in there?
Yeah, and Susan, you don't need to be afraid to try Meta 7 with the meds you're on. Dr. Gilmore mentioned that early. The only thing he said something about warfarin, but why don't you email? Can you just quickly repeat the warfarin thing for her?
If you're taking warfarin, also known as Coumadin, as a blood thinner, and you want to take Meta 7, it is safe. However, I would like for you to be sure you run it by your cardiologist or your primary care doctor who's monitoring your Coumadin levels. Just let them know. They won't have an objection to it. It does not contain vitamin K, so it will not affect those Coumadin levels. But anytime you're on an anticoagulant with such a narrow therapeutic range as warfarin has, it's always a good idea with any supplement to make sure that your whoever's monitoring and adjusting that for you knows what you're on. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Okay then.
All right, well, I'm going to say good night. Love you all. Thanks, everybody. Had a great time. Let's do it again soon. Whole food, plant-based. Read the book, Proteinaholic. Monday and Thursday fasting. Get healthy. You can
Enjoy your veggies and your plants over the next few days, and we'll see you on Monday.
All right. I am gone.
Bye.
Good night. And I'm tired.
Right, I'm still on, so I'm just answering a question about heart disease, and now I need to finish. Bye, guys. Finish. End broadcast.